Tonight, on the Donda Experience, after releasing his 10th studio album on August 29th, 2021, titled Donda, in order to honor his late mother who passed away after getting a surgery plastic surgery that would eventually end up killing her, and many controversy involved in surrounding her death. Kanye Omari West, or should I now refer to as Ye, because that's now his legal name, has officially announced that on 2/22/22, February 22nd, 2022, a sequel to Donda, the greatest album of all time, will be releasing. A sequel to his mother's death, and basically a sequel to celebrating his mother, will continue. I don't know if you remember, but whenever the last Donda Experience episode was made, I said something like this could happen. And I said that I feel like Donda, if it never came out, if the first album never came out, it's because Donda would be something that you have to live, you have to see, you have to go to these listening parties to look at. And I'm very intrigued to see if maybe there'll be a Donda 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, we don't know at this point. But we have to remember that Kanye has many scrapped albums, but I don't feel like this one's going to be scrapped. And the reason being is because this is in honor of his mother. This isn't like Yandi or an album like that was supposed to come out, was officially released to come out, and then just didn't drop. That's not the case here, because this is honoring his mother. And it's a sequel to an album that he's already made. Yet again, there was going to be a Yeezus 2, and eventually all that stuff evolved into the life of Pablo. But nevertheless, you have to remember, this album is in honor of his mother. No decent human being would scrap a project in honor of his mother. If he can't release it on the 22nd, because many people are speculating that he might push back the release date again, it'll be unfortunate, but at the end of the day, as long as we get an album, I'm going to be happy. But the difference here is that Kanye said a couple of days ago on his Instagram story, not on his Instagram story, but on someone else's Instagram story, he was getting a massage. And what he said was that he was not going to get on his phone at all until 2/22/22. He was not going to get on his phone until the album release. That's a type of commitment that we've never seen from Kanye West in terms of reaching a release date. And you've heard projects from people like Mike Dean, and Future's helping produce it, by the way. And some of the songs, they sound finished. He seems much more prepared than the first time around when he kept pushing back the date. And in total, he pushed back the date a solid over a year, technically. But nevertheless, he seems much more prepared now. And he said the only thing he's focusing on is, and I quote, taking his kids to school in the morning and then picking them up in the afternoon and just focusing on his music. I'm very excited to see what features he's going to have. He had a loaded list last time. I'm excited to see if maybe there's some sequels to songs as well. Like maybe we'll get Moon Part 2, because I saw that Don Toliver's supposed to have another song on there. All of this is very exciting for the music industry. And Kanye, his album before Donda released October 25th, 2019, we had to wait a little less than 2 years for a new album, and now we're going to be getting one. And the project, obviously it's not finished now, but he seems much more prepared. He seems much more close to being finished towards the release date, in correlation to, having the 22nd actually be the release date, compared to, oh hey guys, Donda's going to release on July 23rd. No, that did not happen, and things like that. But he seems more prepared now. He seems more committed now, and you have to remember that this is in honor of his mother, Donda West. We cannot forget that, because Kanye feels entitled to do this. And will there be another listening party? It hasn't been confirmed, but if I had to take a guess, I think there'll be a listening party at some point, whether it's before the album drops, the day the album drops, after the album drops. I think Kanye will have another listening party somewhere. And how he announced this, as you see on your screen, he just put 2/22/22, standing for February 22nd, 2022, and he showed his childhood home on fire. And I don't know if you remember, but in the last listening party, he did set it on fire as kind of to symbolize new beginnings, to symbolize this idea that, sure, this was his childhood home, but at the end of the day, it's not the home that mattered, it's the spirit of what was in the home and what Donda created for him in that home. And I really feel like Kanye, another speculation, another theory, is that he had a song called Ye versus the People that came out in 2018, and he was talking about how if Trump won, then that proved that he could be president. And after he inevitably lost the 2020 election, he posted Kanye 2024. He has not officially announced a campaign run. Now, will he in a song, and yes, I know this is dedicated to his mother, but will he in a song mention something about running in 2024? Because if he does, and I'm not trying to make this a political video, but if he does, he definitely should not announce that he's running July of 2024 like he did in July 2020. He was only on the ballot in, I believe, 7 states, right? First off, some people just laugh at the idea of Kanye being president, right? And I feel like they do have a valid opinion. Some people think this man's crazy. I don't think Kanye's crazy. I actually think Kanye has really good ideas. I really think he genuinely cares about people. He genuinely cares about the people that are common, not just the higher ups, and he genuinely has an understanding of what goes on in, the higher ups, because he owns companies like Yeezy, and he has all of these things where he has to work with people who are in the very high upper class. And you can tell that he still has that mentality of, we have to bring everyone along. We can't have the middle class and the lower class feel like they're less. We can't have them struggling whenever all these other people at the upper class are manipulating them. And I feel like he does have a pretty good understanding, and he still has that mentality of a middle class citizen or a lower class citizen, even though he's a billionaire, right? He still seems to share that same mentality. So that's something that I do think we can all appreciate as human beings. But nevertheless, Kanye, I feel like he actually sometimes does have good ideas, except he just has a hard time conveying them. He conveys them in his own way, and the way he conveys them, if you don't truly understand Kanye, you're going to think this man is crazy, right? This man doesn't know what he's talking about. This man is irrational. And that's not how it is at all, in my opinion. I just think that the way he expresses his opinions are not the typical way of doing so. So, since he's not seen as quote-unquote normal in that regard, people just think, oh, he's crazy, right? And that's not the only person in society that's had that happen to them. You've seen this throughout human history. A whole bunch of geniuses have not been appreciated until hundreds of years later, because they were told that they were crazy and that they weren't mentally well. Some of them even executed. But nevertheless, Kanye, will he drop a lyric or maybe even an entire song dedicated to formally announcing or kind of teasing that he will run in 2024? That's something to look for as well in this album. Pay attention to the lyrics. What I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to it the first time, not look at the lyrics. Then I'm going to go back a second time. I'm going to look at the lyrics, right? It's going to make more sense then. But, just get a feel for the album, then do it again. That's exactly what I did when Donda came out. And, man, I am very excited, because it looks like Kanye is going to have his 11th studio album, Donda 2, releasing on February 22nd, 2022. But don't worry, guys, there will be another episode. But I hope you enjoyed your stay tonight at the Donda Experience.